Talk a little bit about you,
You
you
can.
did some studies even before. No, 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 no.
Students, teachers,
It's cold in here. Can you warm it a little bit? برضه اليقين بدنا حرارة الإيمان هذا برضه اليقين.
Sheikh Muttalib, are you going to share your screen or your camera? Or just going to talk? Can you hear us?
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Come on, everybody. I'm the one that got a frog in my throat. And I want to hear it from everybody. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. MashaAllah, Jazakallah khairan. My name is Nader Sufi. I will be your MC for tonight. Tonight is a different night. Tonight is a very special night. Tonight is a night that we celebrate. We celebrate the ceremony, the graduation ceremony of one of the graduates of IOU University. On this day, we celebrate the graduation of Brother Junaid. He is part of the first class for IOU, the Islamic Online University. I'm not going to take too much thunder away from the actual university. I'll let Brother Junaid speak more about it. But just to give you a heads up, he is one of 49 graduates of IOU University. This is not a nationwide graduation, this is a global graduation. So only 49 people in the entire world have graduated from this, him being one of them, alhamdulillah. Our center, ICSGV Center over here, is one of the first approved test-taking centers for IOU. He is receiving his degree in higher diploma bridge to master's in Islamic study. And before we get into that, I want to go ahead and introduce via the web the director of the university in the USA, Brother Muttahar Sabri. Without further ado, I'll go ahead and turn it over to him, and he will speak a bit more. Assalamu alaikum, brother. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. To give you a heads up, we are in the masjid in Roland Heights, California, with roughly about 60 participants. We have Brother Junaid Asi with our sheikh over here, and we'd love to hear a little bit more from yourself about the university.
Inshallah, first, I'd like to convey my salams, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, to all of you who are there at the Islamic Center of San Gabriel Valley. Alhamdulillah, we'd like to congratulate you, the Muslim community there, for your tremendous support and help in making this event possible by being an exam center and encouraging the students such as Brother Junaid to complete their course of study. And of course, we want to congratulate Brother Junaid for the great work that he has done, and we pray that Allah subhanahu will continue to bless him to pursue his studies further. Inshallah ta'ala, as he begins to enrich his master's program, and we're looking forward to great things from you, Brother Junaid. Alhamdulillah. We say Mabruk, and inshallah, we ask that Allah subhanahu accept your effort. Actually, alhamdulillah, although we're 3 hours ahead of you on the East Coast, the opening introduction by our brother there, reminding us that this is a global effort, speaks to the importance and the far-reaching impact that the Islamic knowledge, the obligation to see the Islamic knowledge has on the Muslim Ummah. And Allah has blessed us to be very fortunate in being involved with this initiative founded by Dr. Bilal Phillips and supported by so many people throughout the world. I think that this is one of maybe many initiatives that will really be effective in helping to bring a unity to the Ummah. One of the things that we need as a Muslim Ummah so much is to be united upon the Quran and the authentic Sunnah of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And so the work of Islamic Online University is dedicated to doing just that, changing the nation through education. So we applaud your efforts and we really appreciate all of the good things that you all have done to put this occasion together tonight. And we hope that we'll be able to share this event with our brothers and sisters throughout the world, in our print media as well as the website, and hopes that they will be able to share this experience and duplicate it, in other locations. And so,
Jazakallah khairan, brother. Those are very important words. And alhamdulillah, thank you so much for joining us. And we do know you're 3 hours ahead, and for you to join us live is a very honorable thing. Jazakallah khairan, and we really, really do appreciate that. Thank you very much, brother.
so you all have a good evening and keep up the good work. And Junaid, inshallah, will be in touch soon.
Inshallah, jazakallah khair.
And don't forget to send the pictures and the video because we want that to go around the globe, inshallah.
Because if I turn the camera around, we got like 4 or 5 cameras, and I'm sure everybody is laughing at me. But this was the purpose. The purpose for having multiple cameras and pictures to try to record it and document this event, because alhamdulillah, this is the first batch. As the Sheikh mentioned, this was the purpose. So don't laugh at me with looking at all the cameras everywhere. I'm not so special, but we want to promote the university and talk about the video. Jazakallah khair, Sheikh. Have a wonderful evening. Inshallah, speak to you soon. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So at this time, inshallah, I want to go ahead and turn it over to our wonderful, dear member of the community, Brother Junaid Asi. And mashallah, I just want to say a couple of words. Him being a father, a husband, a community member, a friend, dear brother. This is something that is not easy to balance with today's very busy life. But as long as there's the barakah of Allah involved with the equation, this truly helps with all situations. I want to go ahead, inshallah, have the Shaykh say a few words. And then Brother Junaid will say a few words, and then we'll go ahead and do the ceremony of giving the diploma, and we'll be giving some other treats, inshallah. So, without without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and have Sheikh speak, inshallah.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله وكفى وصلاة وسلاما على المصطفى وعلى الآل والأصحاب ومن اختفى. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. First of all, I'm very humble to be next to future Sheikh, mashallah, Sheikh Junaid, which I know him for actually since I came to United States of America. I was helping with Masjid Taqwa. I was teaching, and most of my classes were in Arabic with little broken English. So I'm getting there. So he was actually one of, I can say, honest and sincere student of knowledge. I knew him for many years, mashallah. We did Aqidah al-Tahawiyya, we did actually Sirat al-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We studied also the Firaq, which is the groups of Islam, fiqh issues, and alhamdulillah, he is well versed. Usul al-Hadith, alhamdulillah, he's well versed on the deen, alhamdulillah. This is just another step for him to go further in his knowledge, which is النعمة of Allah Azza wa Jal, as the hadith Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, قوله عليه الصلاة والسلام: من يريد الله به خيرا يفقهه في الدين. Whoever Allah wants good for him or her, He will open the doors for him or her to learn the religion. Fiqh of the deen, not to just memorize, no, to have the understanding. Alhamdulillah, I am saying that because I know Junaid very close, alhamdulillah, how he deal with the issues of Quran and Sunnah, the authentic Sunnah, as Sabir mentioned earlier. And alhamdulillah, the University of IOU is one of actually the pioneers in this field, because the mashayikh who are actually involved in this program are, well, alhamdulillah, holding in the Sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, understanding the message of Islam, and they are trying to spread it, alhamdulillah, everywhere. And we have, mashallah, 3 students, actually he's one of them, Junaid, but we have actually in total 4, because our center is the 2nd largest center for actually the exams for this university. We have in South California, yes, we have brother Azhar Khan and his wife, sister Tahmeen Khan, and we have also Mu'taz Talal via Skype with us, and then of course Junaid, wa ma adraka ma Junaid. So we have, alhamdulillah, the number is increasing. And it's really طلب العلم, as the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned, طلب العلم فريضة على كل مسلم وفي رواية ومسلمة. So it's for brothers and sisters as well. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قل هل يستوي الذين يعلمون والذين لا يعلمون إنما يتذكر أولو الألباب. Say, do the people who have knowledge are equal to those who don't? So knowledge is the key for the success. Is actually knowing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, knowing the message of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, implementing it in our life. That's where inshaAllah ta'ala the unity will come, as has been mentioned earlier. But one wasiyah I will say, as the Shafi'i rahimahullah said very beautifully, he said, أخي لن تنال العلم إلا بست. Oh my brother, you cannot actually become or learn this knowledge except by 6. He mentioned, actually broke 6 points that is very important for any student of knowledge. When he said, سأتيك بتفصيلها ببياني, I will give it to you, explain it to you beautifully. He said, ذكاء وحرص. ذكاء, to be smart, because this religion is not a game. This religion, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about it, about Yahya, يا يحيى خذ الكتاب بقوة. This religion is serious. It's not something that we take it just when we have time. No. Knowledge, more you give your time to it, it will give you little. If you give little, it give you nothing. So it has to be, alhamdulillah. That's why, alhamdulillah, Junaid and other students as well, with the busy schedule that they have, they take time to learn and study. And even if it's online, don't take it, it's not that important. It's very important, because you have ulama on the other side. You can talk to them when it's needed. You are listening and you're doing your own research. And that's, alhamdulillah, you can ask also when you have issues, alhamdulillah, you can always, my doors is open. So there is easy access to it, alhamdulillah, and others as well. So you can ask always if there is questions to be asked. حرص to make sure you give all your time, you hold on that knowledge. واجتهاد, you exert some effort. قال وبلغة, يعني to have something that will lead you to that path of علم. قال وإرشاد أستاذ, then you have a teacher. Because knowledge also, you need always somebody knowledgeable, more knowledgeable than you, so can always, alhamdulillah, give you some heads up on the issues that you are actually reading. قال وطول زماني. طول زمان meaning it's not the 4 years degree, as some might think, or 6 years degree is ongoing till you meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam Ahmad said, من المحبرة إلى المقبرة. The knowledge is from the time when you start writing to the day when they take you to the grave. وَاعْبُدْ رَبَّكَ حَتَّى يَأْتِيَكَ الْيَقِينَ. So this knowledge is a gift from Allah Azza wa Jal. وَالْعِلْمُ نُورٌ, as Shafi'i mentioned also, الْعِلْمُ نُورٌ وَنُورُ اللَّهِ لَا يُهْدَى لِعَاصِي. If a person is disobedient to Allah, he will not gain much knowledge. Malik said to Shafi'i, which is student of Shafi'i rahimahullah, he said to him, إني أرى أن الله قذف في قلبك نورا. I see in you a nur that Allah He has put on you. He could see it in his eyes. He said, فلا تظلمه بمعصية. So don't take that nur that Allah bless you with disobedience to Allah Azza wa Jal. So this nur is ilm, is nur. So that's why knowledge will humble, will bring a person closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it will make a person also very successful in this dunya and thereafter. And this university, I witnessed there, alhamdulillah, their curriculum is one of the best, alhamdulillah. Because I know their curriculum, alhamdulillah, based on the schools, alhamdulillah, like in the Azhar, Medina Munawwara, Mecca Mukarrama. And it's very solid program, alhamdulillah, when it comes to the Aqidah, comes, alhamdulillah, to ulum al-Hadith, al-Quran, all of that, alhamdulillah, is very good university. And we, inshallah, pray to Allah Azza wa Jalla that you join them. Inshallah ta'ala, you can be, inshallah, the next graduate, inshallah, from this center. Inshallah, Jazakumullah khairan. May Allah Azza wa Jalla bless you and make you, inshallah, the student of knowledge. يعني as the Nabi صلى الله عليه وسلم close with this hadith, إن الملائكة لا تبسط أجنحتها لطالب العلم رضا بما يصنع. The angels, they load their wings for who? For actually the kings and the queens? No. For the student of knowledge. The angels, they load their wings for a person who is seeking knowledge, رضا بما يصنع, because they are so happy to see a student of knowledge like yourself. So be very happy and be proud and thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this ni'mah of ilm. May Allah Azza wa Jal help all of us. Jazakumullah khairan.
The reason I said that is because it's such an important point. Knowledge is one of those things that, if I could just say 2 cents on knowledge right before I turn over to Brother Junaid. In life, there's many subtle things that people will just go through, but it's a matter of being able to recognize the difference that will change someone's life. One of those is engaging in knowledge. The knowledge itself is what distinguishes the A plus from the A minus. And this is one of those things to all of the people in school or planning to go to school, or the young ones that are still in their schools. The knowledge is one of the things that gives you that izzah. But that izzah only comes if you're doing it with the right intention. The intention should always be to please Allah. And believe me, how many times have we thought, where is this, where is that, and all of a sudden the knowledge comes to you? That is from Allah. Allah is the one that gives it to us. So as long as the intention is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, believe me when I say, the knowledge is what will empower a nation. And alhamdulillah, that's one of these slogans. If you look at the flyers, daring to change the nation through education. This is a very important part. To talk a little bit more about the university, I want to go ahead and have our very own community member and our graduate, Brother Junaid, and he'll go ahead and speak for a few minutes, inshallah, and then we'll continue.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So, I'm not going to talk much about the knowledge portion as much as I want to talk about the university experience and how practical it is for us busy working people, students already working on another degree, parents, young people interested in learning about Islam, all walks of life, Muslims, non-Muslims alike, new Muslims, at every level, we can take advantage of this wonderful university. We started offering the free degree program in 2010. I joined in 2011, so how did I graduate in 2014? Talk about that a little bit too. So when they started, it was from few countries. They kept growing. And the stats keeps changing, but the current stat is they have over 184,000 students all across the globe. When you are in one of the classes, there's tons of names you see there. You're like, that's a weird name. Where's that person from? You know, is it from Russia? Is it from China? So people literally from all around the world are participating in these programs. And I was playing a video while we were having dinner, which was the message of Dr. Bilal Phillips. It's an hour long. We did invite Dr. Bilal Phillips. Unfortunately, he was unable to make it. We didn't get a confirmation from him, so we didn't have him, but we had our dear brother Mutahar Sabri, who is a U.S. director for the university, and I am one of the California representatives, so of course I have to talk about the university. But more important, we've all talked about the knowledge part. Is it something practical? Is it something that we should partake in? Alhamdulillah, we have two more students with us here, and one of our brothers on Skype with us that have gone through the program. And I believe the brother also finished his program. He's in Sequoia. He really wanted to come and join us, but it's a long drive, so alhamdulillah, we have him via Skype, and he's watching us live and listening. He would not like to speak, but you know, he's experienced the program too. So, the program itself, there's two main portions to the university. There's a program that is 100% free. There is no hidden cost, no registration cost. You want to learn something about the deen of Allah, whether it is about hadith, about the Arabic language, you want to improve your tajweed, they have a program for you. And that is the free diploma in Islamic studies. You can take one course, you can take it at different levels. If you just finish one course, you get a diploma certificate in that subject, such as here I'm actually going to be able to show you live. Right, so let's say you wanted to take, this is a very important one that we also should be looking at. Leadership lesson from the life of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How many times do we go to some sort of, professional learning and development seminar where we're paying tons of money to learn about something about leadership? How can we be better leaders, better team players, better team leaders? But we forget that the best leader, the best example of leader we have is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you want to learn the Arabic language, we try so hard, many of us, to go to overseas, whether it is in Yemen, in Saudi Arabia, Egypt, or any of those countries. But there is a program, if you cannot make it there, there is a program in learning Arabic, and more specifically, the Quranic Arabic. How many times do we all go through Ramadan and, we're talking about moon sighting or moon fighting, right? And do we start locally or globally? And subhanAllah, that time all of a sudden we all become scholars of Islam. And we ignore what the scholars say, but we all become scholars. But if we want to learn about these kind of things, we would learn a little bit about fiqh, usul fiqh, what it means, what the evidences are. If we want to learn more about the hadith, if we want to learn about tajweed, if we want to memorize the Quran, they have a program, a global Quran memorization program, where only people that have an ijazah are teaching you the Quran. So alhamdulillah, in our masjid here, we do have Sheikh Wahid, we have Qari Yusuf, alhamdulillah. But you know very well we have brothers or sisters that we know that are shy to come to the masjid, or that are extremely busy, that cannot make that time on Sunday because maybe the weekend is the only time they work, and the weekdays they have to do something else, other chores and responsibilities. But there is a program for them online, and not just any program where we're paying somebody in another country to teach us, but somebody who has ijazah, somebody who is an expert in that subject matter. So if you complete all the different, I think it's like right now, close to 30 or so, 100% free diploma programs, you get a diploma in Islamic studies. What I finished has two names. It is called the Higher Diploma, inshallah the Sheikh will present it later, and it is the bridge program to the Masters of Arts in Islamic Studies. When I started this program with this university, my goal was to get a bachelor's degree. But they were expecting by the time that the first batch finishes, we just finished a few months ago, around September 2014, when that first batch finished, which is 149 of us globally, they were ready, they had already prepped up the Masters of Arts in Islamic Studies program. So they can get the people, once they're done with the bachelor's, what's next? Let's start working on the master's degree. Once you're done with the master's, what do you do next? You're already working on the PhD program. So you don't see it on the website, but in about a year and a half to 2 years, when the first batch of master's programs will finish, there will be a PhD program as well. They first started on the degree side, which is tuition free. Yes, there is no tuition. There's a small registration fee, and there is an exam fee, which is in the US is close to like $500 for the entire year. I'll talk a little bit more about that after I discuss the program itself and how the university operates on the concept of community service and volunteerism. So, if you pursue the degree, the only degree they had initially was a Bachelor's of Arts in Islamic Studies. It is in the English language, global language that people all over the world speak. I'm always very surprised to see, mashallah, so many people from India are on there. You see a lot of our Desi names, but there are people who speak Arabic, so it's not that, well, I know Arabic, so why would I learn the deen in English? There are people that are converts, there are people that are not even Muslim that are getting the degree because they truly want to learn about the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And why take this approach when we are working on our bachelor's degree and go to Cal Poly Pomona, or USC or UCLA? Why not focus on being a good Bruin or Trojan or Bronco or something, and work on our engineering degree, or become a great doctor, medical doctor that we want to be? Well, we are all subscribed to some sort of Islamic email, text, hadith a day, or we get some sort of reminders on Facebook, etc. But as many Shaykh will tell you, including our Shaykh here, that is not the right way to properly learn the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And having those little tidbits, reminders, is wonderful because our iman fluctuates, as Rasulullah tells us. But it is important for us, if we truly want to learn the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to have a systematic approach. That is what this university is doing. And it's at your schedule. So if you do the diploma, take as long as you want. Take a year if you want to do one small degree, no problem. Or one small subject, no problem. The only thing is, if you want to do the degree, you have about 5 months or so. There's only 2 semesters in a year. You get a little bit of break, and yes, we get paid break and contributing and everything. So we have 5 months, semester spread out. We do have weekly quizzes. You have some time to take the quizzes. There's a midterm exam that you do on your own, and then the exam center. Where does ICSGV participate in all of this? The exam center is the place where we take the final exam. It is a proctored exam. We have to have good internet service, and I'm also the IT service here. So I have to make sure the internet is working. You either bring your own computer or your own internet too, if we didn't have good internet service. The exam proctor, in our case, our religious director, Sheikh Saeed Sudu, gets the passwords, that he types it up for us, gets it set up, and we take the exam in a quiet environment. And that's why we have to have an exam center. This truly makes us a global community. All across the world, within a matter of a week or two, students, in a number of thousands of students all over the world are taking their final exams. And when you go to each subject that you're taking, there's live tutorial, there's TAs, tutorial assistants, that have live weekly classes for you for any live question and answers. Those are also students studying at Medina University, and Azhar, and the top Islamic universities in the world. It's not just anybody who went to some, layman university or, studied a book in Islam and said, okay, I'm going to be a TA. No, these are people. For example, I'll tell you, I signed up to assist them in the TA. The process is so strict that they ask you if you have an ijazah, where you have studied, what you have studied, give sample khutbahs, lectures, etc. They really verify and they make sure you are the right person because you are teaching so many thousands of people. You're assisting them, you're answering their questions. So if they're letting somebody become a teacher or a teacher's assistant that has maybe a corrupt aqidah or a wrong understanding of the subject matter, or is not in line with the university's goal, they're not going to need your help. So getting to the community service and volunteer part of it. There's two parts. We students now have to serve about 250 or so hours of community service in the Muslim community or anywhere else, and we have to report those hours. So it's great for the world because masajid, like especially ours, alhamdulillah, we need people to do community service. This program, the degree program, encourages us to go and share our knowledge, to help out the masajid or any good cause in whatever form we can in good community service. And the university itself is all run by volunteers. Nobody's getting paid. I have not heard of one person right now in the university that gets paid. So why is there a small registration fee? And why is there an exam fee? Most of the stuff is on open source. And yes, I have worked with them on IT community service for the university as well. Everybody has some full-time job. We're all volunteers. Alhamdulillah, they have volunteers in the number of thousands as well. So it's not just students that are in thousands, but the volunteers are in thousands as well. And every volunteer has a different responsibility. They have, alhamdulillah, such a wealth of volunteers that, people are begging them, give me something to do, give me some work. And like, why don't you go and help your local masjid, see if they need some help, because we get tons of people doing, one little task, we get tons of people doing it. So the IT brothers that I work with, between the semesters, when the final exams are over, that's when they do the maintenance. They're running open source. I have one of my colleagues filming, so he understands the tech term, and a few other techies. They're running open source learning management system. They're all volunteering on their own time, all across the world. There is no physical campus. It's not like the American Open University we have in Virginia, I believe, the physical campus. There is no physical campus. They now have a few physical addresses. If some of you watched the video of Dr. Bilal Phillips, he's based in Doha, Qatar. There's an address I see there. We are now recognized by the United Nations. So we are an accredited global Islamic online university. Everything is run by the programs, but even to run stuff on volunteer basis, to run those servers and to run these services, for that administration stuff, to print these flyers and mail it to me in priority mail so I can make sure I have the new flyers for all of you today. That stuff does cost some money. So that's where the money is going to. None of us get paid a single penny, and to be honest, they haven't asked me for any help recently. But this is where the cost is going. So we can help spread the word. We want to change the nation, or the globe actually, through education. So there's a lot going on in the program. I'll be happy to answer any questions afterwards, in case anybody needs to leave. We are documenting it for the university's program. Alhamdulillah, I was very blessed to go through this program while also working on a Master's in Business Administration degree, and being a father, and working full-time in IT that usually has more than 40 hours a week, and volunteering in this masjid, amongst other things. So alhamdulillah, that's not to brag, but to show that alhamdulillah, with all of this going on, it is so possible to work towards a degree or the higher diploma, to work towards a master's, inshallah. It is not impossible because it's very flexible. The learning material is very flexible. The courses are, the books are all free. Everything's free. The books are in PDF format. So you can carry it in any device that you have, phone, tablet, Windows, Mac, Linux, doesn't matter. There's audio files in MP3, so yes, 100% of your devices will play it. There's videos available in Flash, FLV format. There's tons of things like my friend here, VLC. I can help you with the technical stuff too if you need help. But there's different formats of learning. You can be on the road. Some of you remember when we talked about, I had a lecture a few weeks ago. We talked about being on the road and people listening to music and not being productive at all. Or you can have one of these lectures for one of your classes on maybe you're studying a class of the Sharia. What are the purposes of Sharia? Why did Islam come? And you want to study one topic. You have an hour drive. You have your MP3, plug it into your phone, to your car or Bluetooth, And while you're stuck in traffic, you are gaining knowledge. SubhanAllah. Come back and revise it, because when you're ready for the quiz, if you're just thinking about how bad the traffic was, you may not do so well. But you have those quizzes, you have the midterm, we have one assignment per semester or per subject. So we do turn that in. You get plenty of time to do all of this. There's wonderful assistance from the TAs. There's a great community of the students. We help each other out through the approved IOU forums, and many have from their own local groups. So we only have few students. We're trying to encourage more of you guys to sign up, inshallah, and we'll help you out with that. But with there's in countries like India, and wherever else, there's tons of people that are in one locality going through the programs. They can help each other out, sit together, and if not, you always have local shuyukh you can go to and ask. You can ask him. I've asked him anytime, like, I'm stuck in this subject. Can you help me out? He said, bring your book, bring your stuff, let's talk about it. So that's the wonderful thing. It is truly a global, global program, and the masajids, Sheikh like Sheikh here understands the program and they're in support of it. I truly encourage you to take part in it. And I think we'll go to the ceremony, but if you have any questions, we'll save it for a little bit later. If you want some sort of demo or something, I can give that as well later. Jazakumullahu khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
MashaAllah, Jazakallah khair. Brother Junaid, alhamdulillah, wears many different hats, one of them being the student, and as he had mentioned, several more. We definitely do appreciate him taking time to be a volunteer here at this masjid in so many different channels, and also with the university, alhamdulillah. So thank you very much for that. At this time, I would like to ask both Sheikh and Junaid to come join us So inshallah, right over here, if both can stand, inshallah. What we're going to do is Sheikh in his hands is going to have the, what this is a certificate, and this is the diploma for the actual degree that Brother Junaid is receiving, inshallah. And so with this over here, with Sheikh presenting this, I'll go ahead and read this out to you, inshallah. So what this says is, in the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful, ICSGV and IOU Islamic Online University proudly presents this certificate to Junaid Asai in recognition of completion of higher diploma bridge to MA Masters of Arts and Islamic Studies class of 2014. Takbir! 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 So this is a symbolic thing from the university. What is next over here is the actual direct copy from the university. I'll go ahead and read this out loud, inshallah. The Islamic Online University, upon the recommendation of its faculty, has conferred on Junaid Karim, discovered his middle name, mashallah. Junaid Karim Asai, the higher diploma in Islamic studies with all the honors, rights, privileges, duties, and responsibilities thereunto in order to serve God, the Muslim nation, and humanity by applying the knowledge gained and sharing it with others. This is signed by the Chancellor and the Registrar, class of 2014. Takbir! 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 And now also we want to give this beautifully prepared basket to Sheikh to present to Brother Junaid. What is my count? This is filled with sparkling cider, chocolates, Smarties, and my favorite, the Broadway.
You know I love the chocolates.
Anybody has a sweet tooth, they know exactly where to go to. Takbir!
He's already sweet, we added just more sweet to it, that's it.
He doesn't need to sweet when he's standing next to you, Sheikh. You're sweet enough, mashallah. Alhamdulillah. So at this point, this is going to be concluding our program. Clearly, if anybody does have any questions, please, you can see Brother Junaid, and you can also see the chef as well. If you need any of the chocolates, you can also receive it there. At this time, we want to go ahead and open it up for any Q&A. So if anybody has any questions, this would be the time before we go ahead and wrap up the program.
So any questions regarding the university program? Who's ready to sign up? Nobody after all this?
Yeah, inshallah. Bismillah.
Good. Who's ready to sign up at least for the free diploma courses?
تفضل من بعد أحمد.
Okay, inshallah.
هاتشوف.
Anybody interested in the degree program? So let me give real quick, the degree program requirement is that you have to have a high school diploma. The free diploma courses, no requirement, no age requirement, anybody can take it, no prereqs. Take anything, you pick and choose, do it on Dawah if you want, do it in Arabic, and Tajweed, anything you like.
I believe the sisters, one of the sisters have a question. I think one of the brothers in the back.
Yeah, the brother Ahmed.
Yes, brother.
I have two questions. Somebody always thinks you how we studying how many hours you guys for this program. The second question, if you already got a master degree or PhD degree, can you go directly to PhD degree in this program? Will you start from
Okay, great question. And I was going to try to cover it, but I already got people telling me, okay, we're going over your 10 minutes. And there's only so much we can say, record, and upload to the university. So we have people that are interested in the university's programs that have a master's or a PhD, maybe chemistry or some other subject, and they're interested. Right now, the university is still growing. Their master's program was supposed to start last month, end of September or October. And we just got an email like the week before it was going to start that due to unforeseen circumstances, it has to be delayed another semester. So the master's is what they're going to have right now, is the highest program. It's actually a 3 semester, well actually 4. 3 semester and then 1 semester for your thesis. Once that is complete, so 2 years from now, inshallah, should be 2015 is when they're starting the master's program. So inshallah ta'ala, by 2017, they'll start the PhD program. What they did do in the meanwhile is they added other programs. Because first it was just Bachelor of Arts in Islamic Studies. They now added one in education. So this is great for our Islamic schools all over the world, especially in the West, where there's a dire need for the Islamic schools. They have that education program. And as you can see, as I'm hovering over the mouse, you can do either a certificate, a diploma, or now a bachelor's in education, bachelor's of education. Same for psychology. At our masajid, we need counselors, so they have this program for either a certificate, diploma, or a degree in Bachelor of Science in psychology. And then in banking and finance, same thing, Bachelor of Science in Islamic banking and finance, or you can do the degree or diploma or certificate program. And an intensive Arabic program, which is about 2 years, Quran memorization, which they work on your program. And yes, they did also recently start where you can also get an ijazah online for the Quran memorization program. So for right now, all you can do is get into the master's program. So the way I got to skip and finish with the rest of the group, that's the rest of the 48 people or so, some of which just finished the Bachelor's of Arts in Islamic Studies, is because when they announced the master's program, before people finish up their bachelor's, so they don't like wander off, okay, now what do we do, right? What they did was, they formulated the program, they put up the information on their website, and for people like me who already had a bachelor's degree at a minimum, they formulated this program called the Higher Diploma, which is a certificate I received from the university. And basically, the Higher Diploma is a bridge program, which is the other name for the program, bridge program to the Master of Arts in Islamic Studies. I anticipate, the way the university has been growing so much, alhamdulillah, anticipate that in the next year or two, they're going to come up with another program like this for people who already have a master's degree in any subject in the world, and they want to jump to the PhD, they should be able to come up with something like that. That's just my own opinion, based on what I see how the university's been growing since I've been seeing them since 2010. And that's quite possible. So if you have a master's, alhamdulillah, that's great. I got my master's in business administration too, but Islamic studies is a different thing. It's nice, obviously, to go for a higher degree, but they don't have that yet. So the highest they have is master's, and to do the master's, you can show your transcripts that you have a bachelor's degree. You can show a master's, which I did also. But the only requirement or prereq right now is the bachelor's degree. Show that proof to them, you scan it, email it to them, and then what they'll do is, after the registration is complete, they'll admit you into the higher diploma program. It's 3 full semesters, or you can do it part-time at your own pace. I actually did it somewhat part-time because a lot of the courses I already had done for my bachelor's program that I was working towards. So that's another reason I caught up really fast. And alhamdulillah, I've been studying with Sheikh for many, many years, maybe a decade now, shows how old we are. A lot of these subjects were very easy because we've gone through in the masajid. So the masajids do have these local programs where they try to teach you a subject from the beginning to the end. The university is putting it all together and putting it in a degree format or higher diploma format. In terms of the number of hours, as you asked, being a busy father, worker, community service, IT, etc., what I did was, I think it helped being a techie, because I knew the technology. I what is the easiest way? So first thing I do is I download the course material because I should have that with me wherever I go. They also started a service, kind of like a Dropbox kind of service, where you could store stuff on their cloud. My dad's always, what is a cloud?
No rain, just cloud, but there's no rain.
Yeah, but you can store it with their servers for a small fee too, if you're in like a third world country and you don't have all this high bandwidth. But that's the first thing I do. Save the materials, save the PDFs. If I show you how I structure it, I have folders and subfolders, degree program, semester. Save those PDFs, save those ebooks, save those audios, save those videos, and have some sort of like plan. Okay, this week or today when I'm going to work, I have about an hour to hour 15 drive. Lectures about 20 to 30 minutes. This is one subject, for this week I can cover. And, it really helps with the drive. And I listen to other stuff too, as I share with other people, on professional learning and development, etc. But definitely Islam, right? It helps your drive go much faster, and especially in LA. You don't get mad at the person in front of you or behind you or who cut you off. You're focusing on what you're learning. And one of the things that I really, really love about this university is Dr. Bilal Phillips himself is also a teacher for the majority of the courses I've had so far. So, there's lectures you hear on Guidance TV, on Peace TV, and you hear it on something from Dr. Zakir Naik or something online. But there's stuff that you learn in these courses that you're like, I don't think this stuff is online, or it's not on YouTube, or it's not, IslamTube, etc. So you get to learn from these, Dr. Bilal Phillips and others directly. And in terms of timing, I did most of my program part-time. And there's not so much you can skip. You can try to skip English, I think computer science. Even though I have a computer degree, they were still building up, so I couldn't skip the computer class. So I said, okay, that's an easy A for me. I will be honest, I'm not their brightest and top students, or one of their top students, because I was trying to cram it and get as much as done possible. And I did have a lot of stuff that I learned ahead of time, so it was more like review. And so some subjects I did better than others, but I would say you need maybe 5 to 10 hours a week at a minimum for busy people. The more you get to it, the better, because the more knowledge you're gaining, the more details you're paying attention to. In the exams and the quizzes, they might not ask every little detail, but what's in the assignment gives you a hint. What will come in the final exam. What you see in the midterm kind of gives you a hint that what could come up in the exam. So another beautiful thing is stuff that comes in the quizzes, exams, and the final exam, etc. is stuff that you want to retain for the rest of your life. It's not just some minor detail that may not make a huge difference in your iman or sharing knowledge with others. So I would say at a minimum, maybe 5 to 10 hours if you did it part-time like me. But the university is designed that if you couldn't fly over to Medina or Azhar or some other place, and you were just sitting here in America, but you wanted to gain a quality Islamic education from authentic sources from Quran and Sunnah, and you want to do this full time, 6 courses, they're allowing you to go to 9, then you can do it. So I recommend to everybody, since we have very few hands go up, at least look into it on a part-time basis. The bachelor's degree is a 4-year program. Doubling it up, they give you up to 8 years to finish it. Master's is 2-year, so 2 semesters per year. They'll probably give you about 4 years to do it part-time. So I hope that kind of answers your question. But you know, it is depending on how many courses you take. You could take 1 course and you maybe only need 2 hours. I did an average of 3 to 4 courses, and at least 10 hours or so. And most of it's driving, when you're sitting and waiting in some place, you know, for a doctor's appointment. Time that most people would just grab some weird magazine or just check somebody's Facebook status. I rather pick up my tablet. I carry my Kindle around a lot until, you know, I kind of think, well, I think for something colorful. Right? So I have these color tablets now, and my wife will tell you, make fun, I have all these devices, but the knowledge is everywhere. If you didn't download and save it, log on online. It works on your tablets. It works on any Windows, Mac, Linux, you name it. You can grab the material right away. Read it straight in the PDF. It's not huge file sizes either. Just take it with you wherever you can. It's your own time management. Hope that kind of answers it. Any other questions? There's got to be one. Well, this is like the first chance to really drill deep and talk about this university. This is yes, so all their programs are with an Islamic emphasis. So you could be studying Freud, and you could be studying that there's no God, but of course it's an Islamic university. Everything is with an Islamic emphasis. It's not that they're just offering a program in, you know, psychology in this case. It's people that have degrees, real world degrees, maybe from SC or somewhere else, in that field, but they're Muslim, and let's bring the Islamic perspective into it. They did not have that psychology, education, or Islamic banking and finance program when I was going through it, even the higher diploma. It's fairly new. They have monthly free seminars. They have IOE TV, by the way, magazine with free information, which is a lot of stuff in the class. This is the one from psychology. And you can click on curriculum, and I'll show you. It'll even name you the books. If you actually drill deeper, you'll find the ebooks, or not available, but the name of the books that you will be studying. So as you can see here, just as a sample, the first year, this is a full-time schedule for somebody who's going to take the course or work towards the degree, full-time student. You can take it in any order that you want, as long as, let's say you wanted to take FIP 202. It has a prerequisite. You have to have at least FIP 201. So as long as it doesn't have that prereq, you can take it in any order you want. But introduction to Islamic psychology, not just psychology. Islam is always going to be part of it. I'll give you an example from the English courses that we're forced to take. But you can't skip it. Even if you have a degree in English, it was hard to skip it. The books that we learned or read from, the examples from English, the writing assignments are all Islamic. You have Muslim names, Muslim stories, it has Islamic lessons to it. It's not that, it's just an English class that you're taking. How do I improve my grammar better? Introduction to Islamic counseling. So Islam is always at the center. Reminding, and you can ask Sheikh, because he does counseling too. But this is their goal, to take it in a systematic order. When you talk about counseling, correct me if I'm wrong, Sheikh, isn't it also right that we go back and remind the person, the patient, or the victim about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Like, yes, remember, pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Depend on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not that just like, okay, you may need, is it nitrogen?
Even now in the mental health department of Los Angeles, now the spirituality been introduced to that. So alhamdulillah, as Muslims, we have actually, in fact, maybe some of you maybe know that, maybe some not. The first clinic, mental health clinic, was actually where? No. In the world, I'm talking. It was in Baghdad. So Muslims, they were the first one actually to start this issue about mental health issue, talking about people who really have anxiety, bipolar, you name it. It was actually the Muslim movement, actually the first pioneers in that. So alhamdulillah, it's not something new. So alhamdulillah, the university is talking about that. That's really very good because of course spirituality is the key. No, Allah. No.
And there's courses that everybody has to take. Akida 101, we all have to take it, no matter what degree we're working on. Tafsir 101, Fiqh, Hadith, these are courses that we all have to take. So specifically to psychology, as the sister asked, is lifespan development psychology, psychology of personality. But here's the fiqh courses again, that we all have to take. Here's Aqidah again, Ta'awiyah, I've said it many times, we all have to take. Hadith, the best of Islam, this was a very wonderful class, by the way. I love this class. Fiqh al-Madai, we come to the masajid and saying, do we put the hand here or here? And Asad is supposed to be half an hour late in Hanafi and Madhab and so on. We'll really study it. And, these are courses that we all have to take. So I hope that answers the question for the sister. Any other questions? Yes. Yes. I'm going to give my 2 cents on that, but the question is, where do you apply for jobs after you get degrees and so on? I did want to mention that in my speech early on, that the degree and so on is in no way a certificate for us to go on and say, now I'm Sheikh, please, brother, share my name officially to Sheikh Junaid or something. But it is a very humbling experience and an honor from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and a huge responsibility. As Dr. Bilal Phillips and all the senior staff members always talk about, the purpose is to apply the knowledge first. If we don't apply the knowledge ourselves, they don't want you to get this degree, because they don't want us to just say, look, I'm a sheikh now and so on. But there are legitimate cases where Islamic schools need Islamic teachers, and maybe they have no formal Islamic education. You have a lot of masajid, even here in Southern California, there's a lot of little masajid, smaller communities that have a shortage of qadids, that have a shortage of teachers. And we have people, I've seen myself and Sheikh have seen too, there's communities where anybody and anybody can just get up and give a khutbah. And even they may not be Muslim, and there is that shortage. So it's a responsibility. The psychology program is great for Islamic counseling, whether you do it independently or there's a certified sister, great Muslim who's doing the program, even just for sisters. There's monthly courses, they're doing special seminars. So you could do counseling, you could be an Islamic teacher in an Islamic school. Finance and banking, I don't know much about what kind of work you can do right now, but there should be opportunities. If you just do a general and Islamic education, you can apply in different areas. You can be working in the masjid. I think personally, my opinion, when we are involved in the masajid, not at a religious director kind of level, but administration, volunteering, any other level, it's a bigger responsibility of us to gain that Islamic knowledge. Because sometimes something happens, somebody asks something, or somebody wants to send out a message, for example, and people will just take that message and as is spread it out or put an announcement without even checking whether or not it is authentic in Islam, or if it's correct or not. So it is our responsibility, those of us running the masajid, even volunteering at the masajid, to make sure that we have that Islamic background. And if you don't want to do a full-time job in Islamic, some sort of Islamic, organization, that is fine too. Because I'm not quitting my full-time job to work at the masjid, but I love to still volunteer. But it is something that will help us be a better Muslim. It will help us for our next generation to educate them, to teach them, starting with our own self and our own families. It starts with us, ourselves. So even if you're not getting a job in it, that should not be an excuse for us not to partake in this great program. Anything you would like to say on that? Any other question? You had a question, me? So if you just want to gain knowledge on a few different subjects, you can browse through the diploma, and there's tons of programs in there. It would definitely give you a feel for the program, and if nothing else, at a bare minimum, people should take a look at the free diploma program. Pick something in there, at least Nawawi, or go something higher. If you think, alhamdulillah, I got a lot of knowledge, I don't really need to take something in here. Then pick something in there and take one course, see what you feel about it, try to understand the format. Because the only thing different between the free diploma program and the university program in terms of the methodology is paying a small registration fee, you're turning in your documentation that you have high school diploma, copy of your ID, etc. Registration fee, exam fee. Besides all of that, it's 5 months per semester. You have a deadline for your midterm, you have a deadline for your assignments, and you have a deadline, like a week or two period, to take your final exam and an approved exam center. I recommend this one. This is a good exam center. I set this one up. But alhamdulillah, they're growing. Most of our others exam center to now. Qatar was one before us, Lumina, a couple others. They are spreading. So you would take a course, let's say, the pillars of the prophetic tradition on the science of hadith. Because there is a more advanced course on the science of hadith that we have to take hadith 101, hadith 102, hadith 201, 202, etc. You would take this course and you would get a feel for it to understand, what the course is like. PDF, the audio, the video, is this something you can do? Can you listen to it? How does it work? Take the quizzes, take the final exam, and then if you think you're ready for a degree program and can commit to it, a bachelor's is at least 8 years part-time, 4 years full-time, mix and match, doesn't matter. If you can commit to that 8 year, then you can start on it. If not, you want to work on finishing your bachelor's degree, you finish that degree, you can work towards a higher diploma, which your core courses in Aqidah, Sirah, Tafsir, Fiqh, etc. You take those, you get the higher diploma, and you can work towards the master's program. So that would be my recommendation. But definitely everybody should start with at least one free course and see if they want to take their knowledge further, then they can take it further in the degree program. Any final questions before we wrap it up? I know it's getting late, we've walked into a lot of traffic, and had to listen to me.
I took my class.
And then I took the Sheikh's class, and I pray he forgives me. But do come next time, it was going to be on the Mahdi.
Yes.
So we weren't going to do justice if we just gave you 10, 20 minutes. But do come next time, in December, the 3rd Friday. He's going to announce it. Any final questions? You can always see me outside. Please do take a flyer. If you want to see how the material looks like, I can show you some of it. I actually have some of the archives. I'm not a current student because the master's is not being offered, but I'm always going to be part of the university. Jazakumullah khair. We'll let that wrap up for any final announcements.
Jazakallah khair, Rabbi, and mashallah, congratulations on behalf of the Islamic Center of San Diego Valley and the Islamic Online University. May Allah provide all of your efforts, inshallah. Right before we have the closing dua, I just want to make a couple of quick announcements, inshallah, on behalf of the masjid. December 6th, we have 2 big events going on, the Muslim Singles Matchmaking event in Anaheim, and the first Islamic play that's going to be right here at the masjid. It is called Sirah 4D. This is going to be with props, with costumes, with live actors, reenacting the stories of the Prophet and the stories from the Quran, inshallah. So please make sure once the tickets are sold out, they're completely sold out. That is going to be Saturday, December 6th, inshallah. Also, for all of the schools that we have, from the Quran Academy to the Greek and Islamic School, the youth group, the after-school program, registration is still being accepted. So if you are interested, if you need to see myself or one of the administrators from any of the schools, every Thursday there is a Sirah class at 11:30 a.m. with the Sheikh. This is open for all. And every Tuesday there is a fiqh class and this is open for all. I'm sorry, this is for women only. Tuesdays is only for women, and every single Sunday there's the Islam 101, and this is open for all, inshallah. And as always, just want to thank everybody for making it out. As far as the Sheikh's talk, this is going to be postponed until next month. Please make sure that you are on our mailing list. If you are not, just simply go to our website ICSGV.com, and then put your email over there, inshallah. Really want to thank everybody for being over here to help us celebrate the ceremony for Brother Junaid. I want to thank, oh, and the sweets. Nobody leave until you get some sweets. It's very, very important that you get some sweets, inshallah. I know Brother Junaid and Sheikh are sweet enough, but we got some actual sweets. So make sure you stay seated while we get you some sweets right now.
Yeah, you can take it to go to home. We got them pre-packed. So take some sweets to help us celebrate.
And next week, a week from today, we have Alev's Friday night program. It is going to be on what are you thankful for. It'll be in the main prayer hall, inshallah. And with that, I believe, want to thank the volunteers, everybody who was instrumental in putting this together, from the professional cameraman right over here to Junaid's family for putting everything together. Jazakallah khairan for that. And now I want to go ahead and request Brother Junaid to do a closing dua and we'll close it off, inshallah.
اللهم صل وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى ال محمد كما باركت على ابراهيم وعلى ال ابراهيم انك حميد مجيد. ربنا اتنا في الدنيا حسنه وفي الاخره حسنه وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمه انك انت الوهاب. سبحان ربك رب العزه عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Jazakallah khairan, everybody have a great rest of the day. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
الحلوى hold on. Some Indian sweets.
The sweets, by the way, are directly in the back of the room, so opposite of the room with the four handsome men right over there. Please come and grab one of the sweets. You can take it to go, inshallah. Jazakallah khairan, everybody.